Hello everybody, it's Victoria Marie in my very first scrapbook layout. I'm so glad to be a part of this community and I hope you like this video. So what I'm doing is a layout of my husband and my little girl. You can see those three pictures. I cut them 3x4 and mounted them on some pattern paper that I got with a Scraptastic kit. And it's of them reading during story time, and they have a lot of fun and there's lots of giggles. So I actually don't quite know what they do during story time, but I just caught some pictures of them laughing and just having a good old time. So, you know, a little daddy-daughter fun. And so what I'm doing is I'm outlining the papers I'm using. I am a member of this Scraptastic Kit Club. And if you're not familiar with Scraptastic, I'm not being paid to endorse their products. I just really love them. You get this monthly kit club, or kit rather, and it has scrapbooking paper, both pattern and some textured cardstock, along with some embellishments and thickers and all kinds of goodies. It's a wonderful value, so check them out if you're looking for a kit club. It's scraptastic.com. And so what I'm doing is I'm outlining, and I'm going to mount all of these elements on that white textured cardstock. And I wish I could tell you the names of the papers that I'm using, but I'm coming down to the very last bits. And so I'm really trying to kill this kit before the new ones come in. And so there I'm showing you some of the elements, or at least attempting to show you. I am new at videotaping things, so please bear with me as I get better. But I'm showing you some different things that are going on the page, a couple of banners, some wood veneer pieces, and I'm also going to spritz that background. And right now I am sort of marking where I want my photos to go. I am not one of those scrappers that has to have everything perfect. I'm pretty lazy. I am spritzing some of this color shine from Heidi Swapp on the page, and I use gold, Chartreuse, and black velvet. And the gold bottle, for some reason, the nozzle was clogged, so it didn't spray exactly the way that I wanted, but that's okay. So now I'm sprinkling some of the black velvet on there. And just a second ago, I tested to see how my picture will look. I love, love, love using mist. I think it adds just so much dimension and color to a page. And I was just showing you those colors. And it can take a plain background and make it more interesting. So now I'm wiping up my mess. And I think at some point here, I'm going to wait until this dries. Oh yes, and then I'm going to pull out my modeling paste. And I'm going to move away and I'm going to grab a mask. And this mask, I want to say, was exclusive to a scrapbooking kit club I used to belong to called Scrapbook Circle. I don't subscribe to them anymore, but that one was their exclusive mask. And so it's of hearts. And I'm just simply using some modeling clay, and you can get modeling clay from any craft store. It's very inexpensive. You can get a nice little tub of that for, a jar of that for about $4. And I'm doing this just to add some texture and some dimension onto the page, and it really looks nice. I like the way that it came out. And I'm going to, in a minute, dry that. So now I've dried that off camera. I'm going to go ahead and start getting my page elements in place. And I like to, a lot of times, do more of a clustered, more layered layout, particularly if I'm not feeling all that creative. As I mentioned, I'm a bit of a lazy scrapper, so if it looks good to me, I'm going to go with it. I'm not going to fidget and fiddle a whole lot with elements, and that just makes me frustrated. I don't like to be non-committal. So I'm laying out those elements that I've already pre-cut. So I've got that little multicolored banner that I cut actually from a pocketed scrapbook, one of those 3x4 cards that comes with the kit. They call their equivalent to Project Life or Scraptastic is, they call that This Life Noted. And so you get a bunch of these cards. And so I've layered those all around. And now I'm taking some washi tape, and I got that washi tape from Two Peas in a Bucket during their closeout sale, and I know we're all sad to see them go if you shopped there. I have no clue who the manufacturer is of that washi tape, but I use washi tape a lot to hold my elements together, particularly if I'm making a cluster like that. That way it allows me to adhere everything together and move it around the page, but I was pretty certain this is where I wanted that element to go. And so now I'm going to bust out some of my my foam, I guess it's called foam tape, goes in a roll. And I love this stuff. And I wish I could find a bigger roll. So if anybody knows where to find a bigger roll of that foam tape, let me know. Post it in the comment section. Because I use a lot of it, particularly when I'm needing to put some behind a larger element like this. So I'm going to pop this on there, and it's going to give some added dimension on the layout. There we go. And I'm going to go ahead and peel away those strips. Very easy to do. And pop that on the layout. Sometimes I worry if I'm using strong enough adhesive, particularly if I've done a textured background. All right, looks good. So now I'm going to take a bit of this glitter, I guess you would call it adhesive ribbon. It comes on a little spool like regular ribbon. And I believe that's from American Crafts. And I cut it, little fishtails on the end. And then I cut another banner from the kit that came in a cut apart. That wood veneer piece says today. And then it came also with the kit came these cute wooden cameras. So I'm going to put that on there, and I haven't decided if I'm going to put something in the middle. I might go back and put a little bit of vellum on that background, but for now, that's where it's going to go. And I popped one end up on Pop Dots, and then I'm going to go ahead and pop that banner up on some Pop Dots as well. And then I put a piece of flare at the top that says now, and I've been wanting to use that, so whether it goes with this layout or not, it got on the page. And then I've got this wood veneer circle, and I believe that says yes. I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of this Heidi Swapp black velvet on the page. Love sprinkles. And now I'm trying to decide what font I want. It took me forever to decide a title, and so now I'm trying to decide a font. And I look at a couple of my choices, and I'm looking at some phrases. I'm thinking, I don't know what I want, but I also don't want to think that hard. So in a minute, I'm going to pull out some thickers. And these stickers are called Daiquiri. That's one of my favorite. They're a foam sticker. I love this font. And so it's going to, at first I thought I'm going to put it at the bottom of the page, but it's going to travel up to the top where the photos are. I'm not too certain that's where I'm going to keep it, but for now, that's where it is. I don't like changing elements around on my page a whole lot, but if I'm not happy with it, I just move it. And then if I'm really not happy with it, I just commit. Just tell myself, stop being non-committal. Just put it on there. I always figure, I have to always remind myself, when my family's looking at these, they're not going to care that I moved an element around a gajillion times. They just like looking at the pictures and reading the journaling on the page. And since this layout is about my daughter and her dad, she's only going to want to look at it because it has pictures of her on there. So I'm drawing some lines with my Zig Writer pen. I love this pen. It has a thick end and a thin end. And I'm just journaling about how my husband makes funny noises and funny voices, reading books to her. And she absolutely loves that. That's not exactly what the journaling says, but that's the gist of it. I love journaling on pages. I tend to journal a lot. And I don't always like to keep the journaling hidden unless I'm doing a page where I don't want someone to notice that the journaling's there. I figure if I put it in my scrapbook, it's for all to see. And so the lines allow me to keep my journaling straight. Otherwise, I will fall off. My writing would just fall off the page. I don't have an eye for straight whatsoever. So that's one of the reasons why I don't hang things on walls, because my pictures would be crooked. So I'm taking a look to see how I like that. I'm going to reposition a couple of those letters just a tiny bit. Everything's looking good. And now I'm going to pop some enamel dots on there. I love enamel dots. I have a love affair with enamel dots. So I'm just going to sprinkle those on about 3 places around the page, just in small clusters. I'm pulling out some more because there's particular colors that I'm looking for. So the pack that I end up using is from My Mind's Eye. They make the best enamel dots. And the colors are similar. They did not come with this kit, but they're similar to the colors that are on the page. I'm going to pop those on there. Can always trust an enamel dot to make the page look great. Looking good. And I think I've come to the end of this layout. I'm going to reposition those enamel dots. And I think that's about it for this page. Nope, it is not. I need to put the date on there. Don't want to forget that. I took this picture this week. And what I normally do sometimes with these big roller date stamps that also have phrases on them, I put a little bit of washi tape on the phrase if I don't want to stamp it. And then I'll put ink on the date part. Make sure I didn't get any extra ink on that piece of washi tape, otherwise that will stamp too. I'll either take it off after I've stamped the numbers or keep it on and go ahead and stamp my date. And I'm looking at it and I'm giving it the good old Vicky seal of approval, and it looks good. We'll call this one done, and some pictures are coming up here in a moment. I think so far so good. This is my first process video. I'm pretty happy with this layout. I'm glad to share it with you. Look for more to come, and thank you so much for watching.